I do play when it comes to me rum. Wetty on the rhythm, Kelly Drake on the song. My name is Kelly, I drunk already. I drink a rum, follow, I must hit me belly. Ain't drinking up from Paris, sunset alone can't drunk me. Feel like Busty Bar, tonight party looking jiggy. Now I'm at to see me, I ain't drinking out the way creamy. Just bring this out and give me, that thing this make me rock party. They know I shake on me body, lock the witch party, shut the witch party. It's me to smash up the party. Rum alone is all I want, just give me more inside my glass. Hey, rum alone.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Welcome back, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is 9:20 in St. Vincent and the Eastern Caribbean. You're listening to Arian with me as Roleza, and we are activated mornings this morning. This is our Talk to Me segment. You want to talk about it? We will. The number to call is 457-9997. Also, the number to WhatsApp 457-9997, where you can also place calls. We are also live on YouTube and Facebook at WEFM 99SVG. So I think Kelly J made the best introduction there. Rum in her glass. We want to know, with Carnival coming up, just less than a month.
What the time will you count down?
I missed the
some
countdown
seconds
now.
gone by now.
So
That's 2 hours and some seconds.
Already gone. It is 22 days, 10 hours and 38 minutes until Vincimas 2024. And we hear a lot of these songs encouraging drinking, and we know it's a normal thing. It's a normal thing. Rum shops, if it's one business, probably don't run out of business like that. Is rum shop here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And every time we want to celebrate, there is alcohol involved. Now, there's a lawyer that says idolization of alcohol is unfortunate, and this is coming from Carl Williams. I'm pretty sure most Vincentians are familiar with Carl Williams. He has been in the media cycle for quite some time as a lawyer, and he has described the promotion of alcohol consumption in advertisements and music as unfortunate. Now, according to IWN, Carl Williams expressed this view as he mitigated on behalf of Jarrett Johnson at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Monday. Johnson, a 31-year-old part-time worker in PT St. Vincent, a farmer and a first-time offender, was fined for assaulting and using indecent language against Police Constable 360 Craig. Johnson was reprimanded and discharged on a third charge that he resisted the arrest of the police officer. The officer was on duty on March 2nd at a funeral in Overland, dressed in the uniform of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force when the offenses occurred. Johnson was unrepresented when he pleaded not guilty at his arraignment. However, on Monday, he was represented by Williams and asked that the charges be put to him again. He then pleaded guilty. Respect police officers, Magistrate Kewana Jacobs told Johnson, noting that Craig was in uniform. The facts read by the prosecutor, Corporal of Police Delando Charles, are that on March 2nd at 3:50 p.m., while at the funeral, Craig went in to inquire after seeing two males arguing. He observed that Johnson appeared to be intoxicated and held on to him to remove him from the scene. However, Johnson said, "Officer, you can't blank arrest me." Johnson then pointed his hand in Craig's face and pulled away his hand as Craig informed him that he was going to arrest him for the offenses. Superintendent of Police Ezra Ballantyne later helped Craig to restrain Johnson. In mitigation, Williams told the court that his client was under the influence of alcohol at the funeral. Williams said the society is such that advertisements and songs encourage alcohol use. It's unfortunate. The lawyer asked the court to temper justice with mercy and not to impose a custodial sentence. He then asked the court to consider Johnson's means and impose a fine or compensation, as well as allow the defendant time to pay. He said the funeral was not disrupted. On the indecent language charge, the magistrate fined Johnson EC $200 to be paid in 1 month or 1 month in prison. On the assault charge, he fined him $500 to be paid in 3 months or 3 months in prison. Now, I already feel like when it comes to indecent language, I feel like police just charge that for the sake of charging it. If they don't have anything to charge you with, they charge you with indecent language. I
What is on the
honestly,
books?
I don't understand why indecent
Mm.
language is still an actual charge. And then, when you go to court and you read these stories, it sounds like, okay, this man is a crazy man, he's drunk and whatever, but good thing the police were there to restrain him and treat him with respect. And they probably put some licks on the heel they are in this station, but that's not the point. The point is alcohol consumption. Had he not been drunk, this probably would not have happened. And we are seeing more and more, well, we have seen, especially if you just go outside, you see a number of persons getting in stupid altercations because they were drunk, doing stupid things because they were drunk. And alcohol generally isn't healthy. You can probably count the amount of healthy alcohol, probably like some wines, tequila. But outside of that, alcohol is generally unhealthy. So why is it that it is being promoted in so many songs? You cannot turn without hearing rum in me glass, rum in me cup, Casper G, I drink until I vomit up.
Right.
What you do? In the song, he talking about vomiting on himself, all kind of thing, and people like, yeah, that's what we're doing. Nothing wrong with having fun and but in moderation. And is it that we idolize alcohol at this point?
Right. So you know what is interesting, Ari? So some of these songs, even that song for It's Friday, that liquor song that came out this year. I enjoy listening to the song, right? But I don't drink. Or at least I don't drink in public, right? My drinking is for home and when I'm ready to go sleep. So put that out there. So when you had asked me anything about the all-inclusive the other day, I had forgotten to mention that if I do go to these events, I call in for vitamins or some soft drink, right?
Yeah,
but
some people just get drunk off vitamins.
Off the sugar?
Yeah, get a little sugar high.
Sugar high? Nah, I don't get sugar high, right? So this is the thing. So I've taken this position ever since I was young because I remember too that even when I would go out to events and even to this day, I'm like, if I'm with friends and they'd be like, you still don't drink alcohol? And yes, I still don't drink alcohol because I do not want to find myself in a position where, let's say, I drink too much, and the things that could happen as a result of that. So my drinking has to be in a controlled environment, which is in my home, right? And I also have to recognize that my body disposition would not allow me to drink as Ari would drink, right? We speak about body mass. It would run through my system. It would run through my system faster than it would in Ari's, right?
I was like, whoa, you make me sound like I doesn't
What
rum
you
shop.
I was gonna say, no. I didn't mean like that. No, I didn't mean it that way, right? So you have to know yourself. You have to know if you can drink, if you can actually control it. And oh gosh, I'm sorry, I've been sick because I had something up, right? Call it. You can call back. So I know myself and I have taken that position ever since, even if I'm amongst persons drinking, that I am not going to drink, right? And I think sometimes what happens with a lot of these songs, especially when it comes to young people, is that they think that if they do not drink, that they are not fitting in with the crowd, right? A lot of it sometimes I think boils down to peer pressure because, especially when you're living with friends, everybody buying our wrongs, you're drinking and everything, and you have to contribute. And you feel as if you cannot take that stance to be, I think, what's the word, teetotaler or something? I'll go look it up anyhow. To take that stance of not drinking alcohol. Another thing too is that be careful not release some no good person here. You say you drink at home and we want to join you. No. In my home, only people who are supposed to be there come there, right? So let's leave that there. Right. So and the other thing too is that even the PM had made a point, and yes, I'm bringing this up because I remember at the time that he said it, I was upset, right? He was making a comment of, I think, about something to the effect of whenever, like, he goes in constituencies or he goes certain places, and if they pass a drink, that he would consume the drink and then he would deal with the health things afterwards, and think he was making reference to health word, etc. What they say in those things. And when I read it, I was disappointed because I'm saying that this is exactly, I think, what happens with many young persons, where they think that because they're in a particular environment, that they should give in to what is happening within that environment, and not put down their foot and say, well, no, I'm not going to consume such and such, right? But a lot of these songs, and it's not just soca songs that glamorize drinking, We see it also in hip hop songs, where especially in music videos, they're holding up a bottle of liquor or some expensive drink, etc. So the thing of it is that nobody is saying that.
But those
Wow.
drinks mostly champagne.
Listen, I can't tell what you call like a cognac or those different categories of alcoholic drinks. I don't know because I don't consume them, right? But the thing of it is that when you hold up these bottles, right, it's looking like this is the in thing to do. You are hip, you are cool, you are, what's all the young people references? I don't know. That you are fitted in with this particular crowd, and that is what it is that I am concerned about, where persons think that they cannot take a stance and say, no, this is not for me.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with drinking, but drinking to the point where you don't know yourself, you can't remember what happened the night before, and all these things. That is the problem. The Bible always says, and I can't believe I quoted in the Bible, but the Bible always
you
says,
ain't grew up in church?
yeah, but I feel like anyway,
There are things. Okay.
there are a lot of inconsistencies,
All
but
right.
in everything, moderation, and that is something that you should apply to your everyday life. In everything, moderation. That is how you stop yourself from being fat. You don't just eat everything for the sake of eating everything. Moderation. You don't take everything for the sake of taking everything. Moderation. The same with drinking. There are people who are sick because of alcohol. But if they stop drinking alcohol, the immune system isn't trained to deal with that. And then you see they drop down. I mean, people talk about it all the time. But what are we doing to stop it from getting to that stage? There are people who are full alcoholics that cannot live without alcohol. It's the same when people point out potheads that you have to wake up and smoke. There are some people that have to wake up and drink.
Yeah, even as you talk about that, like when I get here in studios, whether it's for 6 or for minutes to 7, there are some group of guys who I pass on those mornings who are already out drinking. And I'm like, how are you putting in strong rum in your system so early in the morning? Have you even eaten breakfast? Is there anything within your stomach to help to absorb what it is that you're consuming? I have personally never gotten what the hype is. Yes, I know that alcohol helps to loosen you up a little bit. What you call it? It breaks down your inhibitions, right? Yes, maybe you're in a fete, you could drink 1 or 2, but the thing of it is that when you drink to the point where you become a nuisance, especially to the people who you go out with, that should be a point where you stop and say, well, maybe I should curb how much it is I'm drinking. Limit yourself, right? Because nobody wants to have to go out with a group of friends or a friend who constantly drinks to the point of getting drunk, spoiling the fun for everybody else.
Now, according to Statista, it is estimated that alcohol contributes to around 3 million deaths worldwide per year. That is about 5% of all deaths each year. The majority causes of alcohol-related death include alcohol poisoning, liver damage, heart failure, cancer, and car accidents. Carnival coming up, and I always say Carnival is the time when you see the most stupidness on the road. Listen, as a driver, the most stupidness I be seeing on the road is after like color fete or wet fete or any of them dirty parties, and I don't mean dirty in an offensive way. I mean like any party that you putting stuff on itself or you wet or any party such as I don't know if there's a term for it. But that's when people tend to drink the most and care the less because, okay, nothing no pretty clothes. I don't have to care about decency. It's just madness on the road. And then it's literal madness on the road. The amount of accidents that happen in Castle Hill after wet fete each year. Police should start putting out the stats. No.
What they also need to do is start putting on the wrecked vehicles along the roadside as a warning or hopefully a deterrent. Maybe just play on your psyche just a little bit. I think last year Carnival did it. There was also a situation where a car ran under a trailer. I actually don't know what was the cause of that one. I can't remember what was the cause of that one. But the vehicle was there for a good while, right? I don't know why the vehicle was there, but at least when we see these wrecked vehicles along the roadside, actually put down by police or whoever, it can help to play with our psyche in terms of being a deterrent to remind us, because we know that the message was always out there: don't drink and drive. Or if you are going to drink, please have a designated driver, right?
I remember there was an insurance company that did that, I think for 2 years. I had a friend that got in an accident in Baga, and his vehicle was upside down, so it's kind of folded. And that vehicle was put on display right outside the court there. the High Court there with a banner, drive carefully.
Exactly. We need
For 2 years.
we need sometimes to see the harsh reality of what could happen. And we know that many of these vehicles, the exterior, you might think that you are invincible within them, but they fold very easily.
Yeah, so in Europe, the highest rates of alcohol attributable deaths are per 100,000 are in Mother Russia, Vodka, Ukraine, and Belarus. Vodka. According to the 8 standardized data from the latest global burden of disease study. However, I'm not only here with bad news. There are healthier drink options. 1, dry red wine. It's lower in sugars and higher in antioxidants. Try to avoid offerings with higher alcohol content as that can bump up the sugars. And you know, somebody had told me, do you know that chasers we say, do you know that they are actually quite unhealthy and they actually cause you to get quote unquote drunk faster. So try to avoid the sugars with alcohol. Dry white wine or champagne, pretty much the same reasoning as the dry red wine. No fuss cocktails. Select your favorite clear liquor such as vodka or light rum and add in a low calorie or no calorie mixer such as soda water, diet soda, a slice of lime can bring a little extra zest too. And again, tequila, agave is quite healthy. Number 4 is light beer. Save yourself some calories and carbs. And number 5, hard kombucha. This fermented tea-based drink packed with probiotics is celebrated as a healthier elixir. Higher alcohol versions of the beverage offer some of the same benefits as regular kombucha. And I think in moderation, strong rum should not be that bad, but it is such an high level of alcohol percentage. Listen, me personally, I always say any alcohol that I could clean with, I shouldn't be drinking. Any alcohol I using to start fire and all them things, I shouldn't be drinking.
Because what is it doing to the system?
Older person say, listen, I rather drink strong rum than anything else because strong rum doesn't give me a hangover. I know exactly when enough is, how much is too much. I could mix it with coconut water and these sort of things, and I get the right amount of buzz. Me personally, nah.
I don't mind a good rum and coke with plenty ice. That is how I would drink. I would drink and strong rum, always sunset. I would drink that with rum and with coke and ice. But everything has to be down to moderation. Yes, we enjoy listening to some of these soca songs that come out, and a lot of them speak about getting drunk and consuming alcohol. But especially to the young people out there, I mean, talking to older folks as well, but the young people in particular who think that they have to succumb to peer pressure to fit in, to be the only way that you can get a buzz. Like, why is it that you can't get a buzz off the music itself?
Hey, different strokes, different folks. Some people get a buzz off music. Some people use different things to get a buzz. Some people get a buzz off time off from work. Some people get a buzz from vacation. Yeah. Some people get a buzz from...
Well, in the context of a party, right? So this is what I'm saying. Is it that you're using the alcohol to create that vibe that you're looking for within the fete?
You don't have no friends. Nobody they tell if you vibe. Alcohol. Use alcohol today. But seriously and everything... Practice moderation. Not saying don't consume alcohol. It does liven up the party. It does give you a good feeling. Sometimes I might like to just enjoy a glass of wine. It lightens my mood. But like, again, can't stress enough. Moderation. You're not supposed to be in a gutter. You're not supposed to be putting people's lives at risk if you're if you're operating a vehicle. You're not supposed to be so out of your mind that you can't tell that you're about to assault a police officer. Come on.
And also, we have to, at least as we're on this topic as well, be mindful of the drinks as well that you have, right? Remember, when you go to a bar or wherever, you don't just put your drink down, because, we never know what can be slipped into these drinks. Ladies in particular, well, not ladies in particular, everybody, right? Be mindful of who it is you have, who you hand your drinks to. Let's say if you have to go to the washroom.
I would say ladies in particular, because it's easy. It's easier for somebody to walk with Same example you use. It's easy for somebody if we at a bar. It's easy for somebody to guide you out with
Yeah.
in your drunken state and to guide me out.
Yeah, it might be easier, but I also think of they could rob you, right? If it gets to a point of you
Same
just
thing.
not recognizing what's happening, then you can be robbed. I could be
Mhm.
assaulted in another way, but Ari could be robbed.
You could
right?
be robbed too.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what I mean. There are more
So why I
things.
can't be assaulted? Why you alone must be assaulted?
Nah, they go quick rob you than assault
that is a
you.
joke. I notice the listeners can tell sometimes when people make a joke, that's a joke. That is a joke.
Yeah, but so be mindful of your
Yes.
drinks as well. Look at your drinks being mixed. All right, and don't leave them, don't put them down. And yeah, just be careful. This be careful all the time, but
Be
especially
careful
this
all
carnival,
the time, especially these
this carnival
bright
season.
seasons.
Yeah.
It is 22 days, 10 hours, and 90 minutes until Vincy Mars 2024. We have to make way for Community Dateline this morning.